So I wanted to show you some examples of this in an actual STAAR test. So I can't remember what year this was, but this one says, how should sentence 8 be changed? And this is what we're looking at right here. Today's and today's. Okay, so I'm going to, according to my notes, I know that S apostrophe equals plural possessive, and apostrophe S equals singular possessive. So what you're going to do is this. You're going to go back into your passage, and I know that something is being owned because both of these have an apostrophe. So it's not asking me if something is being owned. It's asking me, is there one today, or this one is plural. So is there more than one today, or is there one today? So let's go look. So we're going to look at sentence 8. So it's right here. So imagine my reaction when I lucked out during today's vocabulary exercise. So the vocabulary exercise is what's being owned. It belongs to today. So now I have to ask myself, is it one today, or are there lots of todays? Well, this is one today equals singular. So I need to use the singular possessive. So let's go back and look. And the singular possessive is right there, C. Okay, now what I am going to look, even if I want to also look at the other options here. Insert a semicolon after reaction. Let's look. So imagine my reaction. So if I have a semicolon, my pattern is IC, semicolon, IC, period. Let's see. Imagine my reaction. If I cover this up, when I lucked out during today's vocabulary exercise, is that an IC? No, it's not. It's a DC. We should have noticed this as a white bus word, and that's not an IC, so we don't need the semicolon. And then imagining. So imagining my reaction when I lucked out during today's vocabulary exercise is not the right answer either. So you should have narrowed it down at least to these two, but now you're going to remember S apostrophe is plural possessive, apostrophe S is singular possessive. This means something, this means lots of things owning something. All right, now look below, just even at my next question. This is 2 questions already on apostrophe, even though they might not be the right answer, but we're going to eliminate. Okay, so this one, this is plural. So lady by itself is singular. This follows the rule, change Y to IES. So ladies is plural. Lady is singular possessive. So the question here is, should it be plural, meaning this is more than one, or should it be possessive? So let's go check. According to my strategy, I need to underline the word that comes after it. So let's go to sentence 9. It says, this, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so here's the word that comes after it. Are the ladies owning and? Are they owning the word and? Does and belong to them? Or are we just talking about more than one lady? Okay, we're talking about more than one lady. So if I'm just talking about more than one, do I need an apostrophe? No, I don't. So I do not need an apostrophe, so this one is marked off my list. Okay? So another thing we're going to look at in this video is capitalization. So let's look at J really quickly. Change contains with a capital C to contains with a lowercase c. This says, this, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Potter announced as he held up his hat, contains. This is that what we talked about in yesterday's quotation mark video. This is a quotation being split by a speaker tag. Okay? And remember, look, this, ladies and gentlemen, contains all the words on your vocabulary list. That's one sentence. My speaker tag is here, Mr. Potter announced as he held up his hat. That's just splitting my sentence in two. So if I have a speaker tag in the middle of the sentence and I don't have, this is not a new sentence, it's just a continuation of this sentence, I do not capitalize this. Okay? I only capitalize the first word in a quotation if it's a new quotation with a new sentence. Okay? So, look, my answer is J. I could have also eliminated this one when I use the dictionary. And let's look at delete the comma after hat. As he held up his hat, this is another quotation mark question, comma, quotation mark. My speaker tag has to be set off with quotation marks, comma, quotation mark. So I need the speaker tag to have a quotation mark. Okay, so here's another apostrophe here. This is 3 apostrophes in a row, okay? Whenever I see this, IT apostrophe S, I always say it is. So I'm going to go to sentence 11. And it's wanting me to see if I want to change it to it is. So here's sentence 11. Then we would have 15 minutes to look up the word and prepare a brief oral report on it is meaning. Would I say that? Then we would have 15 minutes to look up the word and prepare a brief oral report on it is meaning. No, I would not say it is meaning. So I'm going to say no to that. Okay? And really quickly, insert a comma after word. Let's look. Then we would have 15 minutes to look up the word. Oh, look what I have here. It's a fanboy, which is what we've been talking about a lot. I see, comma, fanboys. I see, period, is the sentence pattern they're checking me on. So in order for this to work, I have to have, if I want a comma here, I need to cover this up. And let's see if I have 2 sentences. Then we would have 15 minutes to look up the word. Okay. Then we would have 15 minutes to look up the word. All right, what's my subject? We. What's my verb? Would have. So we would have 15 minutes. Is that a complete thought? Yes. So check before. Yes. Now let's look after. Prepare a brief oral report on its meaning, origin, and alternate forms. Is that a complete sentence? No, because we're missing our subject. So we have an IC here, but not an IC here. So do I need a comma? No. Do not a comma without 2 ICs. Okay? So, this one, notice that it just said insert a comma after word. It didn't say anything about a fanboy. You must recognize fanboys. For, and, nor, but, or, yet. So. All right, let's look at our other options here. Change prepare to prepared. Then we would have 15 minutes to look up the word and prepare a brief oral report on its meaning, origins, and alternate forms. We would have, that's present. So prepare is present. So I don't want to say, then we would have 15 minutes to look up the word origin and prepare. No. And if I look in my dictionary, I know that you spell brief with an IE. So this is my correct answer. Okay? Let's see if we have any more. While we're looking at this, I want to look at number 40 because I see a quotation mark question. It says delete the quotation marks after the comma. This is sentence 34. So let's look at the end of this. It says, that was an interesting report, he said to an eruption of laughter. Okay, that was an interesting report. And it says delete the quotation marks. Oh, delete the quotation marks after the comma. So if we delete these quotation marks, I have my opening quotation marks. If I delete those quotation marks, then I don't have a closing quotation mark. So no, I don't want to do that. Okay? So these are just some skills that we've been going over this week. Let me look at sentence 14 because I want to go over this too. What change should be made to sentence 14? So when I'm reading this, even without looking at my answer choices, I should see, when I unfolded mine, I let out a whoop. I said circle my eyes. Oh, I know that when I see a subordinating conjunction at the beginning of the sentence, I need to look for a comma. When I unfolded mine, I let out a whoop. So I should know that this should be DC, comma, IC, period. So insert a comma after mine. Okay? So now, what is the correct way to write sentence 20? I jotted down some notes about the word's origin along with a couple of example sentences. Sure that the rest of the report would be a breeze. This is a fragment. Which, I know I need to mark it out because it doesn't have a question mark at the end. So these are just, I just wanted to review some of these things with you that we've seen. Be careful of period which without a question mark. Okay? So that's just a little review on, we saw 1, 2, 3 questions in one passage that our knowledge of apostrophes can either help us choose the correct answer or eliminate 2 answers and give ourselves a better chance of getting the correct answer. So please, please, please know your apostrophes.